welcome to Chuck's Guitar Geekery. Today I thought I would just sit back and reflect. It's been about 5 years since I bought my first Firefly guitar and kind of go over my experience with Firefly guitars over the years. They're in no way affiliated with this. These are guitars I bought. So it started with this FF338. This is back when they used to sell on Amazon, and this was, I think, $130, $139, something like that. Then, you know, taxes, free shipped to your door. I couldn't resist. Here we are. I've limited myself. I've only bought 4 Firefly guitars, and it's been very difficult to only buy that many. And it seems like over the past week or two, they're really pumping out some new models, and they're all sort of limited runs. So, and they're always kind of upgrading and I think improving their processes. So this is one of the early ones. So the first, I guess, catch or gripe I'll get to when you're buying these is if you're going to buy them, you need to be prepared to either take them to a trusted luthier for a setup or be able to do it yourself. Every single one I've gotten, I think the most recent, I guess it's FFLGS, the SG style was the most recent one I got, and that's been about a year and a half ago maybe. But every single one of them has needed the nut slots cut deeper. So either have your luthier ready for a receipt of this guitar or know how to do it yourself. So I found a decent set of nut files for pretty cheap on eBay a while ago, so I'll have a link to those down below. It's a good thing to have. And then everyone except the Pegasus, the blue guitar, everyone has come with microphonic pickups. I only got to play 1 gig with this before my band stopped gigging all that time ago, before my son was born. And it had the microphonic pickups. I didn't have it set up, so it was not fun to play live, but I've replaced the pickups since. These were like the cheapest Alnico 2 I think I could find on Amazon at the time. I like it. I still have the stock wiring in here. I might go further with a treble bleed or something, but anyways, let's go through sounds. Let's start here. I got 4 guitars to get through. This is going to take a little while, so like and subscribe. The rig, using PV Bandit preamp, and then going through impulse responses, and then DoD Gunslinger when you're distortion. That's what we're doing today. So let's get some sounds out of this one, and then I'll keep talking and moving. That's enough on that guitar. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so now this one is a little bit of an odd duck. It's their take on a double cut, a single P90 Les Paul Jr. type guitar, but this one is actually from the first run they did, and I didn't know this when I bought it. I bought it used off eBay for like 90 bucks, shipped to my door, so still a good deal. But this first run, they did not, because it's just the wraparound tailpiece, they did not put it in the right place. and this guitar would not intonate with this intonate. I can talk today. This guitar would not intonate with the standard wraparound tailpiece, so I had this one on another guitar, kind of a badass style bridge, but it has intonation, but it allowed me to move it further back here, but it's still, the action's still pretty high on this one. So they did fix this in subsequent runs, so this is not an issue on anyone past the first run. And I think maybe the first time they did Les Paul styles, or it might have been 338s. And one of the runs, the spacing on the frets wasn't correct, and they wouldn't intonate on those either. But they've fixed all that since. This is... They actually do listen. I'm in the Facebook group for the Firefly fans, I think it is. And they actually, I think they do listen to people in there when they have suggestions or even models they want to see, you know, guitars they want to see copies of. So they are a pretty interactive company. I'll give them that. Like I said, they're not affiliated with us. This is me just rambling into my camera and showing off a couple guitars I bought. So I do like the sound of this P90. I have toyed with filling in the holes where these posts are and getting standard wraparound tailpiece, because it's just the way this bridge is designed. It cannot go any lower, so the action is a little high on this one. So, or I'll leave it as is and make it a slide guitar. I'm still debating on that, but let's see how this one sounds. I've also put 50s wiring with the wiring harness here, so it does clean up with the volume pot. So let's see what this one sounds like. This guitar brings me to a couple additional points. A lot of them need some fret leveling too. This one came with some high frets. I think all of them except the Pegasus came with some high frets, so they're getting better, I guess. But this has the stock pickup that's in it. I did have to raise it up a little bit, which is hard to do with P90, but to demonstrate the 50s wiring on this one. Anyways, moving on to the next guitar. Okay, so now that brings me to this guitar, which I believe was the next one in the sequence I got. It's been maybe 2 years I got this one. And it was kind of a limited run they did. They didn't make a whole lot of these. They keep saying there's more coming. We'll see, but I don't know. It's a tie between this and the SG style one for my favorite. I mean, this is definitely a copy of Trey Anastasio, I think is how you say his last name, from the band Fish with a PH, which I like. Jam band's cool. I never really listened to them that much, but it was a fully hollow body guitar. And this brings me to my next point. So there's several avenues of buying a Firefly guitar. Mostly they sell through their website, guitarsgarden.com. But they also have a eBay account where they sell kind of returns and B stocks. And you can get a pretty good discount if you look there. But it's kind of a crapshoot on what you're actually going to get. So it's, you know, they list it as a used guitar or an open box. So full disclosure, I'll have a link to it. It's like FJ Mari 5. I don't know where the name came from, but that's where they sell their returns and B stocks and overstocks, I guess. And that's where I got this one at a significant discount. The only thing wrong I could find with it is there are a couple like divots in the fretboard, which are annoying on some notes. But for the most part, I can get around. So to demonstrate that, I think right here, so you'll hear. You hear that pinging there. So on certain notes, you hear that if you bend, but overall, this one had the best frets other than that. The pickups weren't microphonic, but they were a little muffled, so I did remove the pickup covers. That's the only mod I've done to this one. Otherwise, I did have to file the nut down like all the other ones, but otherwise, it holds tune pretty darn good. It's got 24 frets, it's fully hollow. So playing it unplugged, it's actually quite loud and resonant. So if I'm just noodling and I don't want to plug into an amp, this is usually the guitar I reach for. It's the one closest to me at my day job desk there. So let's see what this one sounds like. Okay, so this brings me to my next, I guess, tip or point about buying Firefly guitars is a lot of people buy them and just automatically are like, yeah, I'm going to get this sub $200 guitar just for modifications. But I don't know. Before you modify any guitar, sit and play with it for a while and see if there's ways to get a better sound without spending money on pickups and all that stuff. And that's what I did with this one, because it did sound muddy when I first got it. There wasn't much treble at all. So I removed the pickup covers. I mean, the double black, yeah, the chrome probably looked better, but I don't know. I can live with this. And that definitely opened up the sound so much on this guitar. And also play with the pickup height, because if something's too muffled and woolly sounding, especially on a neck pickup, lower the pickup. That makes a world of difference. I'll probably put treble bleeds in this one too. I think it would help a lot. And yeah, that's the Pegasus. Hopefully they come out with more of these, because this one is definitely my favorite. Another thing about this guitar I'll bring up is it does have, this bridge isn't secured, so what I think, if you're going to change the strings on here, don't take all of them off, because it's going to be hard to get it back in the exact right spot. Just change one string at a time and it'll stay in place. So that's my tip for a floating bridge. So let's move to the last guitar. So lastly, this FFLGS, which I think they're finally making some more of these. I think they just put up on Guitarist Garden, but this is another one I got off the open box FJ Mari 5 eBay store. So I got this one at a significant discount also. But like with pretty much all of them, the pickups are microphonic. And I took the pickups out of here, replaced them. These were the cheapest Alnico 5 I could find on eBay at the time. But I did find the bridge pickup I took out of this sounded really good in the neck position of another guitar. So that's just something to think about. But I like the zebra look on here. But also with this guitar, I wanted it to do something different. So this one pot here that looks different, I put the spin split in here. So what that does is, it's like a gradient where you can go from single coil to full humbucker and everywhere in between. On both pickups, I have it set for both. So I only have a tone on the bridge pickup, and I also have that 50s wiring. So this guitar really has become jack of all trades to me. You know, it's got a lot of bite to it. It's light, it stays in tune. And this is a neck, like the 335 and the Double Cut Junior. The necks do feel kind of cheap on those, but this one, I don't know, it's on par with the Gibson neck for me, as far as like, it feels solid. You know, it doesn't feel cheap. So anyways, let's see what this one sounds like, and I'll try to go through all these pickup sounds I have here. But my favorite spot is right when the second coil starts coming in. Right there. It gives me very much of a P90 vibe, so I definitely love keeping the spin split right about there. Like I said, I have the 50s wiring on the bridge pickup here, so it definitely cleans up very well and maintains treble clarity. So I don't know, either treble bleed or 50s on almost any guitar I think is the way to go. So Anyways, so yeah, overall, I think Firefly guitars are definitely worth it. They've held up. I mean, the 338 and the double cut are the oldest. The 338, frankly, I put in the case for a while because I kept getting all these other guitars and I wanted to switch it up. But I've brought it back out of retirement. I think it's time. It needs some new strings. I'll give it that, and probably a fresh setup. It might not have been the most intonated earlier, but I don't know. It seems like as they go on, they keep getting better and better. And I think the newest ones are coming out with, I don't know, it's taken all my strength. They've had some pretty cool, like hot rodded Strat style coming out that are very tempting, but I've refrained. And all their Les Pauls, you know, are highly acclaimed by other people. And I'll try one of these days. But I don't know, this SG style kind of cured my Gibson style gas that I had. I'm not trying to get them sued. This is no way Gibson. This is actually closer to like the ESP Viper style, but you know, it's SG with flame in it, and it actually, the camera's never going to pick it up, but it does have some 3D movement like you want a good flame to do, and it doesn't neck dive either. So I highly recommend this guitar with some mods. This is stock tuners, and this is probably the most tuning stable one I have. So, anyways, check out Firefly guitars. And like I said, all this is caveated on, I have not actually bought any of these from Guitars Garden, so I can't speak for that experience. You know, it seems it takes them a little while to ship when you order from there. That's a common complaint, but just be patient. Your guitar will come. And I think they will work with you if something's wrong with it. They'll either offer you a discount so you can go get it fixed, or if it's egregious enough, maybe they'll change it. I don't know. I've never had to do that, so I can't speak for that, but I've just seen other people talking about it. So this is hearsay secondhand. But anyways, I'll have affiliate links if you want to grab one of these off eBay. They do have an official eBay store too if you feel more comfortable buying that way. I think it all comes from the same warehouse. I'll have a link to Guitars Garden. Like I said, they've been pumping out all sorts of new models these past few weeks, so check it out. A couple $100, a few mods, little repair here and there. I think they're the best bang for the buck out there. So anyways, like and subscribe. See you next time.